Hello. Hello. It's the Sean Show, episode 41. We're gonna have I think I fixed my mic. I don't know. I think it sounds better than yesterday at least. Do apologize if it doesn't. I couldn't download the previous episode and edit the audio. YouTube took very long, and then we were past the fact. We were already watching football games, so that one's just going in the trash. It's going to stay up, but yeah. Anyway, let's quickly get into the agenda very, very quickly. We had some football today. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. So what do we got on the agenda? We got divisional round Saturday thoughts, my thoughts, and then we'll go over the Sunday quick preview like we did yesterday. I'm not going to go as long, but we'll just have a quick look at it. Boom, let's get rid of that. Some football games. Alright, quick overview. Review. As you can see, guys, we had two games played. We had the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs and the referees, and that inevitably ended up in a Kansas City win. And then we had the Washington Commanders going into Detroit and putting on an absolute show. Let's go. Left hand up. What? I don't know. That was a very good game. If you haven't watched it, it's definitely worth going back and watching a replay of it, or at least watching the highlights. It was just highlight after highlight after highlight after highlight. It was amazing. The Houston Texans versus Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know, man. I don't know. If I was the owner of the Houston Texans, I'd probably be calling up Goodell and being like, I'm thinking of suing you for the amount of money that I've lost, because the amount of money that I've lost in terms of fan generation as the AFC playoff is going to be broadcast, and a lot more people are going to be watching that game than this game. So I've lost exposure, I've lost fans, I've lost new fans or possible fans. And what are you going to do about it? You know, because that translates directly to sales to the team in terms of merchandise and everything, you know? So what are you going to do about this referee situation? Because we got fucked. Talk to me, Goodell. Talk to me. In all honesty, they do need to have a look at the rule when a quarterback tucks the ball and runs. I personally believe that if they tuck the ball and run, they should not be considered a passer anymore. Therefore, roughing the passer does not exist. If you want to run the ball, you're playing football, be a man and take a hit or get down at an appropriate time, because defenders are going to hit you like they're going to hit your running back. Okay? That needs to be made clear. Sure, targeting can still be a call. If it's a head-to-head hit, targeting, boom, flag that shit every day. But when you've got a quarterback who is just doing shit, and the refs are like, nah, cool, we'll give him the flag, we'll do whatever he wants, we'll put everything in his favor, and then you've got defenders just like, well, what can I even fucking do? What am I supposed to do here? Right? Two roughing the passer calls, ridiculous in this game. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like I said, if I was the Houston Texans owner, I'd probably be talking to Goodell and being like, hey, I'm considering suing the NFL. You got to make this right. Let's figure this out. Needs to be some sort of open statement at the terrible refereeing in that game. I mean, there was a fourth down where there was a third down, I believe, where the Houston Texans obviously made the first down, but they said they did not make the first down. So then they had to go to fourth down and try to make a play. They made the play. CJ Stroud made the play, but still, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. Then later on, they called Kansas City to have a first down when the player clearly didn't make it. They did make that right, but man, if they didn't make that right, would have been riot town. Would have been fucking riot town. Yeah, don't go watch that game unless you want to get angry. Alright, so we got a quick preview. Oh, we can't see that. Ah, there we go. Divisional round Sunday quick preview. That should very much be at the top of everything. Nice. Nice. Okay, so the first game at 3 p.m. ET or 6 a.m. GMT plus 10 where I live. It's going to be definite snow. I haven't updated this this graphic at all. This is the same as yesterday's graphic. This is the same forecast as yesterday, so it may be a tad inaccurate. In fact, I would like to just go and check that right now. Why not have some integrity, right? 32 definite snow. Oh, it's gone down 1 degree in LA, in Philly, and also it's the same thing. 9-mile-an-hour winds, 8-mile-an-hour. Yeah, it's a little bit more windy in Buffalo, but it's still pretty much the same thing. Okay, so yeah, let's go over it. Definitely gonna snow. 32 degrees Fahrenheit. About 8-mile-an-hour winds, not 9. Not a big difference there. Philadelphia Eagles favored by 6.5 points. The over and under for the total. The total match points is 43.5. I don't see it being as high a scoring game as Washington Detroit, but it's very likely going to be a. Both of these games are going to be amazing games. Let me just tell you that. Let's go quick look at the injuries. We had a look at them yesterday, but we'll just look at them again really quickly. Okay, so Rams versus the Eagles. Notable injuries for the Rams. Questionable. We've got Alaric Jackson. He might play. He's got a chest thing going on. Injured reserve. Laurel Murchison could be back next week. He's dealing with the foot. Akello Witherspoon is questionable for tomorrow. He's got a thigh issue going on. Bobby Brown III possibly could play tomorrow. It is questionable. He has a shoulder. Defensive tackle for the Rams. Who else do we have? Troy Reader. It looks like he did participate full on Friday. We did say this yesterday, but he is not going to be playing. He can play next week, it looks like, based on this. And then we've got Justin Dedick, the guard. Questionable to play tomorrow. There's nothing listed about his questionability. Maybe it's about that dick. Justin. And then all of these other players here, I'll read them off really quickly. Blake Corum, running back. Nick Hampton, linebacker. KT Leviston, guard. Connor McDermott, offensive tackle. Trey Tomlinson, cornerback. And Darren Kendrick, cornerback, are out for the season. They will not make it, even if these teams make it to the Super Bowl. So that's a little unfortunate for the Rams. Still looking strong. They're still a very strong team. And then we'll go over to the Philadelphia Eagles side. A lot of people on IR. Actually, there's absolutely no questionables. I can bring up my graphic. Talk about these injuries. They had Brian Young is out yesterday, and I guess he's still out. So, yeah, I forgot about this graphic. My apologies. The players who are possible to come back next week, or at least are missing. We have Brian Young, defensive tackle. He's got a hamstring. Someone else who's possible to come back next week, Britton Covey, wide receiver, dealing with a neck injury, some neck issues, Ben Van Sumeren, linebacker, could possibly come back next week. He's got a knee. And James Bradbury the fourth cornerback, can come back next week. He's got a lower leg thing happening. For the rest of the team, CJ Uzomah, tight end, he can come back by the Super Bowl. That is the Super Bowl date. Everybody else who is on the 10th of February, Nakobe Dean, linebacker, Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle, Brandon Graham, defensive end, and LaRaven Clark, offensive tackle, will not be back this season, unfortunately. How do I see this game going? This could go either way. It's probably going to be a bit of a slow start for the Rams. I think it might take them maybe a quarter to figure it out. And figure it out on the offense, I mean. And they're going to get a good feel of what this Philadelphia offense is all about. And they're going to get the ball run down their neck. They're going to have to deal with it. They're going to have the chance of Jalen running the ball. They're going to have to deal with it. There's going to be some tush push. They're going to have to deal with that, right? And then, after all of that, you've got your receivers. You've got your tight ends catching the ball. Saquon can catch the ball and do it to you as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some opening drives that include some screen passes, some screen plays. We're going to see a lot happening, I feel, on the Eagles' offensive side of the ball. Apologies, I'm yawning. But I do believe as the game goes on, Sean McVay will adjust quickly. He'll make game plans quickly for that offense, and then from the second quarter onwards, I feel like they're probably going to have a touchdown or at least a score in each of those quarters and have it keep it competitive. On the other side with the Eagles, I feel like they'll probably be the first team to score in the first quarter. The defense is very strong, and they might get got a bit in the second quarter. Their scoring might slow down in the second quarter, and then the third quarter is going to be a little who makes the right adjustment coming out of the half and who can exploit that quickly before more adjustments are made. That's how that's going to turn out. And then I feel the fourth quarter, there's probably going to be scores on either side of the ball. I'm not saying that this one is going to be lit up. Let's go back to our graphic. The over and under is 43.5. It could very much go that way, honestly. It could go 24-17. Could definitely go 24-17. 3 touchdowns by LA, 2 touchdowns by the Eagles, and a field goal. Maybe 23-20 or 23-21. 23-21 will get us the over, but yeah, I feel like it's going to be probably exactly around that over and under. I don't think there's going to be a shit ton of scoring in this game. I've rattled off a bunch of scores there, and that's what I'll probably ride with. Not riding on any of those bets though. I don't do scoring bets. That's just wild. But yeah, that's how I see the game going out. And remember that it is snow, so that Eagles defense is a great secondary, so we'll see what happens. We're just going to have to see what happens. This is going to be a pretty good game, not a high scoring game, not as exciting to watch as Washington versus Detroit, and that one did kind of come apart in the fourth quarter anyway. It's going to be a good football game. It's going to be a chess match. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. Baltimore going into Buffalo. They are favored. I'm not sure if they're still favored. That'd be interesting to look up. Let me just quickly check that. Yep, they're just slightly favored. Just slightly. 51.5 over. It's probably going to go past that. It's probably going to go, yeah. Each team will score 28 each. I'm feeling that. I am feeling that. I think the update on the weather was like 12 degrees Fahrenheit snow showers, and I think the winds maybe went up to 5 miles an hour. Obviously, that could change. This is the weather. People who do the weather are kind of paid to be wrong 90% of the time anyway, so anything could happen tomorrow. Game is at 6:30 p.m. ET, and it is at 9:30 a.m. GMT. This is a little bit of an earlier slate than the Saturday games. Obviously, it being Sunday, people are going to have to work on the Monday, so the NFL has taken that into consideration and brought those games forward a little bit. Sucks to be an Australian, because you get shit on either way. You got to go to work. You can't watch the football. Unless you're doing your dream job and you're watching the football for work. Anyway, let's get on to the injuries right now for this game. Okay, Zay Flowers is doubtful. We'll have a quick look on the updates because this is very much from yesterday's information. And questionable is wide receiver Deontay Harley and Zay Flowers. Alright, so Deontay Harley is... It says he's injured reserve, but it says officially listed as questionable. Estimated return date the 19th. He is still questionable. Zay Flowers is still listed as doubtful. Did not practice Friday. Officially listed as doubtful. That doesn't mean he won't play. He may have just been resting, taking some time to rest, because these guys have not really had a bye week. So give the man a break, man. Give the man a break. And then the notable questionable was Ray Davis. Running back questionable. Bills head coach Sean McDermott said Friday that Davis is still in the NFL's concussion protocol. We'll see if anything transgresses overnight. Overnight for me, but in the coming hours. I'd expect this to be as up to date as possible, so I'm not really seeing anything new on this page. Let's go to the website and let's go over all of the injuries. So, first up, Baltimore Ravens. As we said, Deontay Hartley, he is questionable with the knee. Zay Flowers is doubtful with the knee. That could be a little bit of gamesmanship. We don't know. They could use all the weapons they can get. It's going to be a bowling game. And then we have Jalen Amore Davis. Could come back by the Super Bowl, hamstring. Arthur Morlett, cornerback, dealing with calf knee on injured reserve, but he can come back next week if they decide to win this game. And then the rest of these players: Christian Matthew, cornerback; Trayvon Mullen, cornerback; Owen Wright, running back; and Malik Ham, linebacker. They are all out for this season. Even if the Baltimore Ravens do make it to the Super Bowl, they will not be able to play. Their injuries are too severe. Let's go over to the Buffalo Bills. As we mentioned, Ray Davis, the running back, is questionable. Told you about the concussion protocol. Only one player can possibly come back next week. That is Balin Spector, linebacker, 26th of Jan, dealing with a calf injury right now. And then the final three players who will not be back for the rest of the season: Travis Clayton, offensive tackle; Shane Buccelli, quarterback; and Tommy Doyle, offensive tackle. And they cannot come back if the Bills do make it all the way to the big game. So that's the information for that game. But we want to know, how do I think this game's going to play out? That's what we all want to know. Like I stated yesterday, this could be one of those games where everybody's expecting it to be about Derrick Henry, but it could just be one of those games where it's not about Derrick Henry. It's about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, versus Josh Allen. Not Derrick Henry versus Josh Allen. Lamar versus Allen. I don't know who's going to win MVP. For me, you'd really have to look at the roster and say, hey, they got them to the divisional round. They got their team to the divisional round. Who has the better roster? Because that person's not winning. And the other guy is more valuable. That's how I see it. But in this game, like I said, it could be one of those games where everybody's expecting it to be about Derrick Henry, but Lamar Jackson goes off and throws 4 touchdowns, and Derrick Henry gets a big old 0 touchdowns. Doesn't mean he doesn't contribute in the yardage, etc. It just means he's not getting the tutties. And then on the Bills side of the offense, it's going to be Josh fucking Allen. He's got weapons. He's got weapons all around him. But like I said, this is probably going to be a Josh Allen game. Just to prove that point. Like I said, there's going to be snow showers, a little bit of wind, not much wind, and it's going to be fairly cold. The Bills do thrive in this environment. They are at home, and we'll see what happens with the Baltimore Ravens. They can play in the cold. They're also a cold weather team. Scoring wise, in terms of each quarter for each team, I think both teams kind of start out hot. Honestly, I do believe both teams probably start out hot. Both get a score in some fashion on their first drive. Turnovers will probably begin around the second quarter, third quarter. Second quarter scoring might dip off, and also towards the first half of the third quarter as they come out of the half and they've both made adjustments. They're trying to figure out what the defense is giving them and what they can take. So I feel scoring is going to be in the first quarter, the second half of the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. I do believe there's going to be the hot zones for this game. But keep an eye out for some really good defensive stands by both defenses. There will be times. Apologies. There will be times when one of these offenses just absolutely just drives the ball down in a few number of plays, and then the opposite offense just kind of mimics that or beats that in some way. This is going to be an exciting game to watch. Snow showers doesn't mean the ball is not going to be thrown. It's not definite snow like the Philadelphia game. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Who do I think is going to win? Well, like I've said all kind of season, the two teams that I envision making it to the playoffs are the Eagles versus the Buffalo Bills. That's just how I feel it is. I do believe the Eagles are probably the best team in the NFC. I've been saying that for ages. Washington Commanders kind of proved me right there. And then the Buffalo Bills, yeah, I just kind of feel like it's a tough one, right? It's between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Kansas City's not really part of this conversation. Both of these teams are better than Kansas City. But who's going to come out on top? And if they come out on top, whoever does, let's hope that there's minimal injuries in this game. We don't need no limping into the AFC Championship. Same with the NFC game. We don't need no limping into the NFC game. I know you get a week off in between the championship and the Super Bowl, but still, we want everybody to be at full force. We want to see some really great football. That's what we want to see. Baltimore are favored. Just talking about, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. Buffalo Bills defense. Seemingly leaky Ravens, pass defense. Don't know why I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. Secondary, that's it. Somewhat leaky secondary. Couple that with a Josh Allen in the snow, doing his thing. And then they get a bit, oh, he's starting to throw the ball, and then he just zooms that shit right down the middle for 15 yards and a touchdown. I would take Josh Allen for a touchdown. I would take Lamar Jackson for a touchdown. Like I said, battle of the MVPs. We'll see who comes out on top. Even though I'm liking the Bills, my mind is still thinking Ravens. I'll stick to my guns. I'll go with the Bills. I've said it. Eagles, Bills, Super Bowl. Too many weeks now. I can't change back now. Well, guys. That was the Sean Show. Episode 41. Hope you guys enjoy the football tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the football today. Because I did. Well, you know. I enjoyed that, Washington pounding. Interesting thing to say. Those Lions will kind of, I guess they're starting to know what it's like to be a Packers fan. Have all the hopes in the world. Have all the talent in the world. Have all the potential in the world to make it to the Super Bowl. But you fall short. You fall short. Yep. Too many seasons now. Lions fans are tasting it. Hopefully they deal with it better than I do. Anyway, like I said, that was the Sean Show, episode 41. Enjoy the football. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate others. Be a great human and have an even greater time. Please. Please do that. Peace.